Welcome to the NXT review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamlet and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT Beep Beep Down the Bloody Road Roadblock. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT 2.0, but also Man Hour off Friday Night SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week, complete with a very good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, though, joined by Hamlet and Sidgwick to review last night's episode of NXT Beep Beep Get on the Blue Road Roadblock. I'm in a pretty good mood today, gotta be honest. Yeah. Pretty happy with events on last night's show.
As was I. Relief washed over me, not just because of the finish of one particular match, but just after Raw, I was a little bit nervous. What's going on? And then last night, I watched and the business came back. Like, it was just a blip.
Yeah.
Monday was just a blip because last night was everything, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I wasn't just watching with you in mind. Although I'd be lying if I said by the end you were the only person I could think of, because the match that I'll have to sit through to stand and deliver, it's not going to be any good. But I'll be enjoying it. I'll be enjoying it through you.
Look at me.
This was everything. This was everything I wanted from an NXT. Home run NXT.
You and I have talked previously about our anxieties when it comes to just life, basically. Yeah. I'm looking at that timer in the bottom corner. I'm going, I need that ref bump pretty soon if Trick's going to make a run in here. But it was all right. Sid, what did you make of the show?
It was terrible. The action was just pretty... there was one good match, daft as it was. Elsewhere, like really rubbish. Like some actively piss poor professional wrestling on this show. And the storylines are they're terrible, aren't they, Wilborn?
I'm just looking through my notes here, and I think I loved every single second of this show. So we'll get into it.
Don't like to pick you up on anything, Sid. You're a devil for the details, and I respect that about you. But this might have been a piss poor professional wrestling show, but it very much doesn't say professional wrestling on the marquee. So this was a classic NXT.
Okay.
Tell me what I'm telling lies.
Well, they're in the ring, so... Why did they have to go?
For like a bit of it.
Yeah. Why did they have to go in the ring, though?
I ask myself that question every week. The show peaks before they get there.
But why doesn't it matter? Can't you watch?
I don't know, but on NXT, I know it doesn't.
Yeah.
I know in my heart it doesn't, and I can't give it the answer that yet, but one day I might get there.
Why don't you try? It's a job.
Knowing they can fight in a car park, knowing they can fall in love in a locker room. Like, the ring. The ring. And I think the ring isn't for matches, it's for the idea of a match. Like,
it's a canvas to be painted on rather than wrestled on.
It's a blank one until those NXT stars get out there. It's stand and deliver, because that matters, right? Stand and deliver, the consequences.
Because there's no TV on it.
Of getting to stand and deliver matter enough that you can watch a match.
But then you have to watch wrestling and stand and deliver.
Well, and this is the thing. I'm trying to work out how they've managed to make the destination a place full of mostly matches. Who cares? Not me. Like, how
stories is what I care about.
Maybe that's it. They've managed to make that feel like a prize, because at the end of the show, I was celebrating one of our favourites winning a prize, but it just makes me forget. It's like the Men in Black thing. It's like, oh yeah, it has to be. Tony D's won. What does he get? Another Tony D match. Oh, forget about that. Just forget about that for now, and just imagine the prospects. And I'm deadly serious. You've seen him wrestle. Like,
forget about it.
But yet the magic is made.
I disagree.
Off to a great start this show. Introductory video package with Lexis King in a fast car.
You pick me up when I use great and you don't agree with it. You let that one fly.
I expect something of you.
Fair enough.
He said...
Disagree.
They're hitting the pavement and going full speed to stand and deliver. Just like he likes. He says Mello also likes things full speed. But there's only one Don of NXT handles business his way. Who's next to challenge Ilya Dragunov? There can only be one King of the Road. He says, Lexis King, that he loves a little bit of crazy in his life, but Who wants to deal with Dijak and Joe Gacy? And while we're dabbling in a bit of crazy, let's not forget about being a bit of a loose cannon. Sometimes it pays off. Tayan Paxley and Lyra Valkyria.
Thought you hated your dad.
We're on the road to WrestleMania weekend, and one stop before revving our engines, stand and deliver, oh, yo, it's Roadblock. And Alexis King is ready. Are you?
Tell you what I loved about this, beyond all of it. Typically, when they do these cringeworthy scenes, this one was about a car, right?
Oh, yeah. I just picked up on that,
like the summer ones, they'll be having a barbecue.
Or the winter ones sometimes.
Winter ones, they'll be having a barbecue in the sun. Halloween, they'll be having a spooky barbecue in the sun. You know the sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's like 20 of them. Like, which match are you most excited about? Like, what's going on in your life at the moment? Forget about that. I'm excited about this match.
Yeah.
Whatever. The idea that Alexis King has no friends, that when he gets to do one, he's just got to do it all by himself. Should we get some characters to interact with Alexis King and talk about Roadblock? Nobody would believably want to do that. Not a single soul in that locker room would want to spend any additional time with him. So he just has to do it by himself in a fancy car. I like that.
Red hot opening, I thought. And we start
He
with...
got a new beard done for the occasion.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a match. I like that.
We start with the Asylum match, which kicked goddamn ass. They've got the cage. There's like Vic and Booker are there, and they welcome us to the show. And there's the cage there. It's got all the gimmicks. It's got a door. No time. It's got a chair, a table, a fire extinguisher, a cricket bat, a kendo stick. You called it. A straight jacket.
It's the Fed.
And that's going to be the first of many. A mystery box with "Do Not Open" written on it.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
What's in the box? So they get into it. Dijak grabs a chair and swings it at him. Gacy's got a fire extinguisher and drops that. He gets thrown into the cage wall, does Gacy. Dijak goes for the "Do Not Open" box, and he goes to open it. What? But he stops himself because Gacy's recovered, hits a Death Valley driver, gets a 2 count.
You're on the hook by then.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
I couldn't care less about who wins this match.
Yeah,
I want to
same.
know what's in the back.
Same.
Goes to the box again. This time Gacy rolls him up for 2. And he throws Dijak into like the cage walls. Teases opening the "Do Not Open" box. Stops himself or gets cut off by Dijak, who stomps him down. Screams, "What's in the box?" Goes to open it and gets hit in the groin by a spring-loaded boxing glove.
Oh my God.
It's back. Boxing glove and a stick law. Our old friend. I want boxing glove and a stick to get an NXT contract. If there's one thing I bloody hate, it's boxing gloves and sticks. You know what I mean? It's just led against the wall.
Boxing glove on a stick is all elite. That's the graphic we need. So
We're having those conversations. They've signed enough wrestlers, but if boxing glove and a stick becomes available, you got to get him. You got to pick him up.
So I think they got a near fall off that. We go to break.
38 years old, man.
Gacy's been in
Had
control.
to be in the dick as well.
It was all right. It was okay. It was
Bloody knob.
pretty funny.
Man getting hit by boxing glove on a stick. This contest is over. So Gacy's been in control during the break. He gets sent into a garbage can, though, and Dijak goes to the top rope and then to the top of the cage and does a bloody moonsault. Only gets a 2 count, though. Dijak can't believe it at this point. Gets the straight jacket, nails Gacy in the head, starts putting it on him, but Gacy's arms are loose and he fights back. Dijak grabs the door, sets it in the corner, but Gacy hits him with a back suplex, and he gets the table that's in there, but it had a cover on it, pulls the cover off to reveal a smiley face, Sige, that looks nothing like his logo, but still, it doesn't matter. Dijak has recovered, though, as he set this table up, and he hits him with a chair, ties the straight jacket arms, beats him up in the corner, sets him up on the top rope, puts the table there, but Gacy headbutts him, and Dijak falls through the table. Despite being tied up in the straight jacket, Gacy hits a swanton and gets a near fall off the back of it. He escapes the straight jacket, but gets taken out with a lariat. This time, Dijak grabs duct tape, tapes it over his head so that Gacy can't see, uses the kendo stick, as you called, Sige, to just batter him. Gacy fights back with a back kick low blow, basically. Hits a spinning uranagi, gets a 2 count. Despite being blinded, he's still nailing Dijak with the kendo stick shots. But Dijak sends him into the door. Dijak still only gets a 2 count off this. He can't believe it. So he hits Feast Your Eyes. Joe Gacy fires up again, but he gets a second Feast Your Eyes. 1, 2, 3. Dijak wins the Asylum match.
My big worry here was that, especially like because we've had
An emotion.
NXT Asylum adjacent matches for things hanging off cages. The example that sprung to mind yesterday was Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. They dared to present that as a serious main event. Was that this would take itself too seriously, and it never did. It pretty much...
Have you not watched it?
Almost did by the end, like double finisher stuff.
Yeah.
Unnecessary. But the Swanton with the straight jacket.
You were worried that something on NXT was going to take itself too seriously.
Well, like Sean Spears is. You know? Like,
yeah, I mean, but Joe Gacy's entire gimmick is that it's all,
I just thought,
everything's funny.
what if they knacker it by the very end?
Yeah.
And try and make this seem like finally, like Gacy's got it done, or Dijak can finally put like Gacy to bed or whatever, and it never did. Like as soon as that boxing glove on a stick came out, I was just like, they've got this. They've absolutely got this. And I enjoyed it as a result. Like I did not want this to feel credible, and at no point did it.
It's just, I can't deal with it anymore. But I was doing all right with this whole complete and utter head loss over NXT and your enjoyment of it and how I can't reconcile it and how I hate this show and how the show is fundamentally terrible. That every single week, like dogs used to, are just like, oh, the ball went that way again, so I'm going to go and follow it. Like it doesn't... what's going to happen, right? Premonition of the future is that maybe not this Wednesday, maybe not even next Wednesday, maybe the Wednesday after that, some Wednesday, right, on Dynamite. Hamlet will be the first to tell you on Thursday afternoon or Thursday morning or whatever, right, is that there's going to be a show on Dynamite, right, where, like, I don't know, the same limb gets worked over in 2 matches out of the 6, right?
Amateur.
Yeah. And he's going to have a bitch and moan about it, yeah? And there are 3 characters on this show, no less than 3 characters on this show whose gimmick is, I love pain.
It's unacceptable.
I invite it. I welcome it. I actively enjoy it. In fact, it's kind of the thing that I like the most. So I've got Ilya Dragunov, who just loves getting tortured, who, as we've seen, and will not quit, and just actively enjoys the competition. An incredibly intense guy.
He would, in his words, say it is...
very entertaining. We've got Joe Gacy, who just thinks it's funny. And, like, you can't put him down. What, he's enjoying this pain? And now you've got Sean Spears sitting, spoiler alert for the rest of this awful show, you got Sean Spears sitting on his knees, welcoming a chair shot to the head. Come on. Because for some reason, he's so actively invested in this mid-30s dud who isn't going to ever make it, no offense, but he's not very good. Sean Spears is so actively interested in getting Ridge Holland to embrace his violent side, because that's the key to your superstardom. Yeah, I'll offer my head as a sacrifice so that you, Ridge Holland, can discover your potential. That's 3 of them, right?
That put him in the hospital forever. Sean Spears never can speak to his child again, but he's got a way to communicate non-verbally, and he's like, I did it to bring out Ridge Holland's violent side. And the family it probably wasn't worth it in hindsight, Sean.
Okay. Right, okay. So remember as well, back in, I'm going to say...
So is he going to give the business card?
Yeah.
His new NXT gimmick.
Mr.
Sidgwick, the businessman.
Remember back in, I want to say, it was late 2019. The wheels were kind of falling off, right? In All Elite Wrestling. And everyone's like, oh, there's a problem with this show. There's a problem with this show. And, well, that Bush League outfit has ruined everything. Okay? And, Tony Khan doesn't know what he's doing. And to a degree, you could argue that was the case, right? Okay. Because what happened was the Inner Circle, led by Chris Jericho, attempted to recruit Jon Moxley. In the meantime, that was kind of the Dark Order's thing. Let's recruit. Strength in numbers. Yeah? So they can interfere and all the rest of it. And then there was a third one with the Nightmare Collective doing their initiations. And it's like, can you not tell any other stories? Now, remember that
Yeah.
Remember that era when everyone, like literally everyone, that's all that anyone could talk about.
Yeah.
Because it was held to a standard, right? Of, you can't do the same thing on every show, and everyone's bleeding about it. And while I had a point, why is no one about the generational cooker of the year, Shawn Michaels, pointing out that he's got no less than 3 horrendous characters? And at the time, by the way, everyone had this, the AEW membership card, and you can't, do 3 things on the same show. For shame, Tony Khan.
Oh, no.
Right, AEW membership card in November 2019. It's going all over the podcast table, okay? Shame on you, Mr. Tony. Disgusting. Why didn't anyone care about how bad this show is except me?
Be like,
There are people who review it, not of the What Culture Parish, online.
are they?
You got 8 out of 10. Oh, it's good. What are you watching? It's
59.
it's so unbelievably bad, this show, to a point where it's just charmless for me. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah. I think I'd counteract that argument with a simple phrase that everyone's really been saying recently. Greatness echoes greatness. So we, off the back of Dijak's sensational victory in the Asylum match, we go to the locker room, and there, I think you can tell why I quite enjoyed this show, because
I forgot when I just on you. I tore up an old Metro ticket.
Oh, thank God. I was
panicked.
I was quite stressed there.
Well, I keep my receipts, you see. I keep my
I know
receipts. So it was a receipt for a Metro weekly pass on which I wrote AEW membership card to then rip it up. That's what I did. Okay.
Bringing it home, giving it to your kids. Dad used this at work today. We'll get it one day.
Get it one day.
So we go to the
Not
locker
the one that'll get better hobbies.
We go to the locker room, and there's...
They already have better hobbies than me in their 8 and 5, respectively.
There's the family. Tony D's just getting himself psyched up for the main event. And there's the Riz, and she said,
Lord, tonight's your night. Last week you turned NXT upside down.
and in comes Stacks to finish the sentence, with a snap of your fingers. And Tony's like,
Oh, you like that, huh?
it was a darn move.
Oh, look, I told you guys last week we're on to bigger things. NXT Championship, stand and deliver. Oi, oi, oi. It's in my sights.
Tonight's your night. Hey, listen, our guy's outside.
Oh, yeah, let him in. Mr. D'Angelo, look, Crucifino. Oh, Crucifino. I made myself familiar with who you are. You got a sharp brain, but more importantly, you're not afraid to roll those sleeves up and crack some skulls. Absolutely not.
That's your Santino voice, mate. That is your 5-star review Santino Morella voice, mate.
Oh, listen up. Straight up. No BS. Paul White. I need a consigliere. The family has the potential to be the most influential force in NXT. The underboss, the Riz, and now you are consigliere. Whenever I need you, there are no questions asked. Those are my terms, yes or no. I'm in. And Tony shakes his hand and kisses him on the cheek. Oh, welcome to the family, kid. What a start to the show.
But yeah, big moment. It was more sinister sounding, the whole thing, than you made.
Yeah, that's...
I get it.
probably
though.
didn't put
So
it
you-
across there, yeah.
You wanted to sort of, just for any of the kids watching.
Yes.
It's quite scary. Otherwise, there was a definite sinister undertone to all
yeah.
this. Luke Crucifino is bringing choppy waters to the family, I think.
He's getting all of his...
Looks like it's going to be all right for now. Plain sailing
ducks in a row.
Plain sailing to stand and deliver, but I got nervousness about where this all goes afterwards.
Disagree. There's only one place it's heading, and that's the world goddamn title. Stand and deliver. Oi, oi, oi. Fallon Henley's there, backstage with
No.
Riley Osborne.
Just put it on you, say the world goddamn title stand and deliver.
Fallon's there with Riley Osborne. She's thanking him for giving Thea Hale some clarity and what have you. Said, look, we're on this date, and she's like bored. She's unengaged. She used to be a pocket rocket, he said. But that's not who I went on a date with. And Fallon's like, yeah, she kind of got some bad advice. That's not her. She's trying to play hard to get. And in comes Blair Davenport, who, of course...
Shouldn't that have clarified everything? Oh, great. She's interested. That explains her behaviour. I'm just going to go and ask her out.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be lingering now?
Got bigger fish to fry for Chase U tonight, Sige.
Do two things at once.
Blair Davenport. Who's
How long does it take to text someone? How long does it take you to text
I
someone?
think he just wanted to throw all of his, he don't want any distractions, want to throw all his focus behind supporting Chase U for the evening. So, and then obviously he has to wait 7 days until he can do any more, because that's the rules.
He leaves his phone in the locker, doesn't he?
Yeah,
at
yeah,
NXT, and then he picks it up when he arrives the following Tuesday.
Oh, bloody hell. But in comes Blair Davenport, who, of course, never has met Riley Osborne before. And she says, bloody you, Fallon Henley, you can't help but give bad advice. You should stay out of other people's business. Thea isn't Riley Osborne's type. I don't know how she'd know that, but still. Fallon's like, let's have a bare knuckle fight then. And Blair says, you're not ready for me, and walks off. And then they're still going to have a match later.
Yeah. Fallon Henley kicking around still. I like.
Still a chance.
I think there might still be a chance.
A chance of what?
Her and Brooks.
Yeah.
What's Brooks got to do with any of this?
The fact that Fallon is meddling in people's love lives again, and it's like Brooks is going to get his ass kicked and he's going to be nursing his injuries. And I see it's not been going too well for you trying to help out those people, has it, Fallon? She's like, no, Brooks. And he's going to be like, and then a what? And then finally, pay off.
Yeah. I'm sure that's going to happen.
You'll be right there, front row.
It's not happening, though. It's not happening.
Lara Valkyria is prepping backstage when her new...
Are you arguing that we should be holding this to the same standard as AEW?
No.
That's good. Actually, it's only just occurred to me now that like I was thinking...
There's a more earnest enjoyment of this than the other thing, and one thing's profoundly worse than the other.
Agree.
Yeah. I just find it odd sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad. I watch this, man.
I don't watch Coronation Street for the Mitchells.
It's just a bad show that I have a bad time with every single... I just hate it, man. I watch it and I'm like... I like the lore around it, the in-jokes. I watch it and I was like, I cannot stop going on my phone. It's just like...
I forget I have a child when I watch this show. I'm so obsessed with it, let alone looking at my phone.
The preview, like, I love this because of Wednesday morning, I watch it and I think, I cannot wait to get into work and talk about this with the lads, because we've done the preview that day and you've had 6 days to forget how angry this makes you that you're like, I'm back in the room.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm riding the high of our preview, watching it, going, some of the things we said has actually happened and the things that didn't are even better. And then I get into work and then I'm given the reminder of, like said, shoot hates this and he needs 6 more days to forget it.
I do, yeah. I like the
previews.
I like the previews and then I have to watch it. Yeah. Oh, God. It's the earliness. I can have a lie in.
Oh, no, I wouldn't be able to sleep, honestly. Like my body clock would just wake me up. It's like, it's NXT time, baby. Let's go. Anyway, Tatum Paxley walks in to Bird Person's locker room and says, after tonight, we're going to be more than friends. We're going to be women's tag team champions. Brilliant swerve. Lara says, yeah, but we've got to be realistic. We could also lose. And Tatum says, no, we have to win because then we'll be intertwined as tag team champions. She'll do anything to win, basically. She goes on this rant and talks about tearing out people's souls. And Lara's like, is that for me or for the title?
This is too stupid for you, mate. You're shaking your head. Is this one too stupid for you?
Every single week, there's 6 of these segments, like 6 of these bits within one segment. And at no point, like when Lyra Valkyria has that one face, I'm not sure all of this is on the up and up. It's like you forgetting, like another 6 days pass. It's probably fine.
Yeah.
Like probably this week, as she said 6 more things. This is a bit weird. Anyway, I'll go and wake up in the morning. Yeah. What's going on with Tatum Paxley?
But there is no Wednesday for these people.
No. There's so many. It's not even just one. Like if it was one little lingering look and you like, we're going, there's that dramatic irony, right? We're supposed to know what's going on a bit like in front of the characters.
Yeah, because there's an invisible camera.
She's laying it on so thick all the time. She barely says the normal stuff.
Yeah.
You sort of forget that bit. Like to the point where in this it becomes the punchline. For us as champions, like she could easily forget that.
Yeah.
And at no point does Lyra go like, this is weird. I'm going to have to call the police. She never flags it as an issue, ever.
No. Just you wait.
It's going to be a twist if she doesn't turn.
Yes.
That's where we're at.
It's the worst thing of all time.
NXT tag titles on the line next.
This is the worst wrestling show I've ever seen. That isn't TNA or WCW.
Yeah.
And it's got the WWE production value on it as well.
You've just explained a
Yeah,
really good, really good thing and then made it better.
I know you like the Fed. I know you like the Fed. I know you like the Fed.
I enjoy
the Fed.
this.
I know you like the Fed.
I enjoy this. I don't think it is good,
Good.
but I enjoy it.
You'll like this. The Wolf Dogs are in action now against
Yeah,
Chase
this is
U.
good. I like the Wolf Dogs.
Need
this.
They're in control. You've got Chase U, but you've also represented by Andre Chase and Duke Bloody Hudson. You've also got Thea Hale, Chasey Jane, Jasmine Nix, I think it is, and Riley Osborne. Early on, Wolf Dogs are in control. Corbin dominates. Breaker comes in, runs Chase over. Hudson has to make the save. They send the champs outside, and Chase hits a big flip dive off the apron to take us to a break. When we come back, the champs have taken back over. I think during the break even, possibly Braun did a super Frankensteiner.
No hands.
Oh my God.
And did like a funny thing with his hands, didn't he? And then just leapt into it.
He was particularly amped up pre-bell.
Yeah.
Kind of like violently jerking his head back for the box. I mean, I know it's his bit, but like he was just...
It's like as Corbin started wearing more of like matching attire.
Yeah, they're kind of coming together gradually, aren't they?
So the Wolf Dogs, work over Andre Chase. Braun does that suplex into a cutter.
Oh my
Thing
God.
that he does. In the end, we get the hot tag to the best hot tag in the business. Duke Bloody Hudson, he runs wild, hits a swinging boss man slam for 2 on Corbin. Chase comes in, they hit the Fratliner, that gets a 2 as well. But Corbin hip tosses Chase into the corner. Breaker dives off the apron to clothesline Hudson over the announcer's table. Chase does manage to hit a high crossbody for a 2 count on Corbin, but in the end, Corbin hits a deep 6 on Andre Chase. He turns around into a huge spear from Bron Breakker. 1, 2, 3, the Wolf Dogs retain.
Just good action from the Wolf Dogs. Like the match wasn't out special, really. It was a glorified squash. If the Wolf Dogs got the call up tomorrow and they were getting given a win over some like no-name guys, it wouldn't look much different to this. Like I know you had the Duke Hudson hot tag, but there was never any doubt about the result.
No.
So it never really felt like, oh, we're getting a title change or anything. They just weren't jobbers, I guess. That would be. But like ultimately, it was still an exhibition for the Wolf Dogs. They're still doing these matches where it's like, what else can these guys do? Like the chemistry remains great. Like they've got, it's the right amount of balance as well, because Baron Corbin can be quite drab, but he's doing just enough that then it's keeping like Bron Breakker stuff electrifying as a result. He's not being totally boring just to sort of emphasize how great Bron is. He's still doing stuff to almost keep up. So I quite like the dynamic. I still like the dynamic with these two.
Baron is the guy who exists in this dynamic to prevent Bron Breakker from selling, and which he's not great at. Bron Breakker is the guy in this dynamic who prevents Baron Corbin from slowing down the pace too much.
Yeah.
They are complete yin and yang, complement each other perfectly.
Ironically, Baron is kind of
Helping.
Rick to Bron's Scott.
Yeah.
Or considering who's the actual dad in this. Like there's Scott Steiner's the one that's going to kill some guys, but you need a Rick there as well.
It's not just their evident chemistry, it's people, their comic timing, their interplay. Like in the ring, it's just the perfect tag team. I absolutely love the Wolf Dogs. I'm doing my earnest voice here. And this is just good, dumb jock professional wrestling. There wasn't anything special, but they do stupid stuff. Like the table spot with Duke Hudson and Braun. Like it's just like, geez, you're going to break your neck doing that. You calm down.
Of all that Bron does, because he's got loads going for him, the dive I still find quite surprising. Like the elevation, the distance he gets on the dive is still something. Like he doesn't get caught half the time, but he flies.
When he
I
does,
allow
like-
myself to forget that sometimes.
When he's like a lariat, it's like, how's he ended up on the other side of the ring just doing that? He's like,
A lot of movement.
he's just ridiculous as an athlete.
His first day at training, when they have him running the ropes, like he must have just got that like 2-3 step thing straight away when you've had other people doing like the things that he'll have just nailed that day one.
Yeah.
Where's that come from?
Yeah.
They're going to make him sell again at some point. So I don't know what because you can't be Goldberg forever. This is what a lot of people misunderstand. It's like, oh, shouldn't have lost to Kevin Nash at such and such a day, or they should have done more with him. It was probably the least equipped top guy ever, but it was just so good in the small doses. Like he's never going to like mature into like a master craftsman Goldberg. It's like the ruined Goldberg. It's like, what else was he going to do? Like, what else was he going to do realistically? I think Braun's probably got a bit more than that, but I worry from when the Wolf Dogs go away.
We've seen it once. We've seen that.
I know,
babyface
I've seen
run. It was rubbish. I don't want that again.
Should move up to the main roster. Wolf Dogs versus Graveyard Dogs. Match of the year.
Oh my god.
Obviously, this tangled web of stories within NXT.
Tangled web.
What a tangled web they weave. And, you know, it's not just all about belts. There's other things going on. And in a bit of a...
Oh! Teachable moment!
Thea Hale's there with Chase and Hudson, who had just slumped on the stairs after losing. She's sort of consoling them. And then behind her, JC Jane's like... She's doing the L sign on her head. And Thea Hale flips out, storms off.
Why now? Has JC Jane
Why on camera?
ran out of and on camera ran out of patience with Chase U,
She's just saved them.
having gone to such trouble to save them?
Because she's made her money. She's got boatloads.
But she
from those
didn't go to
calendar
Chase
sales.
U to think that there was money to be made from it.
Yeah, well, she wasn't
Or
there
to make a
flip it.
calendar.
Do you know that? For sure, 100%?
Well, she's not a realtor character in NXT yet. She's not got like the red jacket.
She's toxic. She's always been toxic. She's told us that from the beginning.
Yeah, but seriously, like what? The Hamlet's making a salient point here. So what's changed?
Yeah,
What has changed?
because she gave that big load of money over to the Riz, and it wasn't like, well, I'll keep a little something for me. It's just,
There was extra. She gave the money away.
yeah, it was just class is back. Class is back in session. Thank God. I love class. Like, I don't. They've not really explored
Well,
that.
that's why we've got to tune in next week, mate. I don't want to explain episodic television to you, but Kelly
He's right.
Kelly goes and sees Mello. He's got the security. He referenced the fact that in one of the greatest segments of all time.
Oh my God.
Of course, last week Tony D had bought off all the security. Now he's got his own definite Mello security. He says it's disgraceful what happened. When was the last time he backed down from a fight? Don't answer that. He's handpicked his security this week, and he says, "Look what happened to the last guy who tried to jump the line." I looked that up, and that's Trick Williams who was taken out. So just to keep you up to date,
How do you do this for an hour?
he's the man who'll make history. 24/7 me, baby. He's the man who make history.
What about in bed?
24-second man. He's going to go back-to-back at Dadley Boyz, win the title, because he is him.
Yeah.
There's a generic verbal performance.
Then it was time for Sean Spears' in-ring debut on NXT.
Wasn't quite cinema, but it was certainly theatre.
He was facing Uriah Connors, who's Fit Finley's son. And just so much intrigue for me surrounding this match, because he backs Connors into the corner. What's he whispering in his ear? Because he looks so conflicted all of a sudden. And Sean Spears just batters him, headbutts him, and hits him with a C4 and wins.
Yeah, it's all about the post match, isn't it? Already.
Well, there's acting before we even get to the post match, because after he hits the C4, why are you taking so long to pin him? Why he gets every bit of scenery. Gobble gobble. What's he doing?
Yeah.
Like no. Rhetorical question, mate. I want you to explain to me what you think Sean Spears is doing by like snaking across the canvas, not breaking off that stare into the hard camera, and then doing the pin. Like, what do you think? Genuinely, like, what do you think goes through his head when he's planning all this out and thing? What's he going for when he's doing that? I've got no idea. Like, is it sinister?
Yeah, they've told him take
No, I think he told himself this a long time ago.
your time out there, be sinister. He's a play coach. Like Sean's like, I need somebody that I can do reps in finishing class or whatever it is. But I've got to use him on TV as well. It's a
You know
QT
because
Marshall
Sean
problem.
Spears is doing a bit of this in AEW, which is obviously the creative expression.
Yeah.
Like, what is he going for with that, like, thing before the pin?
I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't either do some like funny ha stuff or hold up.
It's funny bloke.
Or hold up another
Got good
10 on a
comic
piece of
timing.
paper. There's no shame in holding up the number 10 on a piece of paper and people going 10. There is no shame in that.
There's no shame in being funny?
Yeah. I've laughed at him on telly. I've done that in a building. I was like, you're all right.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to ruffle his hair, but like, it's okay to be good at some stuff and not the rest.
4-year-old man, it's fine.
We sort of mentioned this last week, but yeah, this was this exact character entrance and everything from AEW, basically. He gets on the mic afterwards, says it takes a certain kind of man to hold a mirror to humanity. Most of us don't like what we see. He calls out Rich Holland's name, says those words probably hit a little close to home. Ridge says it's for his family, and it sounds like a moral success, but
You really flubbed that bit as well.
Sean Spears doesn't believe him. He's lying to himself, and the darkest thoughts get a hold of all of them, including Sean Spears. Difference is, though, he's not ashamed of what he sees. Ridge can't say the same. Enough of the emotional damage. It's time to be a man. Here comes Ridge Holland. Sean asks if he's going to hurt him, and Ridge just tackles him, beats him down, pounds on him, chucks him all over the place, and then Sean slides him the chair and says to embrace it, to cave his skull in, basically. And Ridge grabs the chair, but thankfully officials separate them, and then Ridge throws the chair down and thinks, what am I doing? Shouts at Spears before he leaves.
This is awful.
Prop suggestion. Sean Spears.
A Macbeth skull, or is it Hamlet, whatever it is.
It's got his trademark chair, obviously. But the seat. And the underside, or just... No, both sides of the seat and the underside, is a mirror.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say they were mechanized so you could tag with Lexis King.
That's later.
Okay.
Sean Spears would be great with Lexis King. That would work. That would happen. He should think that Lexis King's the coolest, funniest, most handsome guy in the roster, and he should hang around with him.
Yes.
And then should do actual damage with his chair, and then Lexis King gets a win, and then gradually maybe there's a turn. But in the meantime, like, Lexis King is walking around, he's like, I've been shot down by another one of the lasses on the roster. And Sean Spears is like, let me hold a mirror up to you. Not a lot of people like what they see. But Lexis King loves what he sees. He's like, yeah, my beard's better than ever. And then they become mates. That's what you do with Sean Spears.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's so much better than this. I can't remember the last time I actively hated something on a professional pro wrestling program as much as this. It's are they trying to be profound?
Yeah.
And it's horrible. This idea of corruption has itself corrupted pro wrestling storytelling over the past 2 or 3 years. And that, when does this ever get over? Like, I'm talking ever.
I can't.
Ever.
I know we've got the staring at the hands thing and that, and Sean built that into a lot of his matches in the latter half, the weaker half of his career. But did it ever work within a story? I'm thinking about, like, maybe when he worked for Bradshaw. He was like,
oh yeah,
or when, like, Chris Jericho hit his wife. Yeah, that's probably when it worked. When Sean beat him within an inch of his life, beat him bloody, and then realised that he didn't even feel the redemption he wanted. He'd done all that. He'd gone to that place.
Gone to that place.
And it was still sort of, and because you knew he was like a religious man now, and he was a forgiving soul, and he'd done all that to Jericho, and he still didn't feel like he'd got what he needed.
It's eye for an eye, though, so maybe you should read the Bible.
Indeed. But
all I'm saying,
that's probably, and again, it was him specifically, so it was probably the one time people bought it, and he just
I don't know, is the Bible like that? I don't know.
I'm not reading the Bible, but I'm just saying, like, Shawn Michaels certainly did, and incorporated that into his work.
Yes. I hate this so much. I cannot articulate how much I hate it. This idea of someone wanting to draw violence from somebody else when that somebody else's profession is combat athlete.
It's just a rubbish mind game. It hit me really hard. I've got a very serious concussion. I'm going to have to retire. But I won the mind game.
But I won the mind game.
I made Ridge snap.
Maybe just Sean Spears is a big fan of rugby and he saw what he was up to prior
Shut
to
up,
getting into the business. You don't know these things. So I wasn't a huge fan of this. 7 out of 10 for me.
But why would you, as a combat athlete, right? It's not even like, thing is, if it was like upstanding babyface, right? He was like, I just want to win a match with like some holds and some correct application of technique and have all my matches. I didn't really want to injure someone. I feel like an arsehole for this. Nah. I just want to be a good technician. He was a f***ing brawling brute. He's a f***ing brawling brute. He's not Mr. Nice Guy.
Sounds like a good gimmick, though.
Right there, right that
He was in the brawling brute, and he's now wondering why he's so violent. And now you got Sean Spears, risk a possible head injury to teach a man in his mid-30s a lesson. I'm fairly certain by your mid-30s you got it worked out and no one could be arsed with it.
I want to flag up a very serious point here as well. I like to think myself as quite discerning. This is one of 2 storylines on this show where a wrestler is trying to stop another wrestler being a wrestler. And I just think that's unacceptable.
Your deal story's better.
This is the weaker of the 2.
Yes.
What's the other story about?
We'll get to it. Don't worry. Let's not jump ahead too far. retention. Brooks is backstage with his big new balls, and Briggs comes up to him and says, like, I'm not trying to get in your business, but you can fight over Femi. That's a death wish.
Thank God they're mates again, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, they had a fight. They're fine. Yeah. You look suspicious, Sidge.
I think they're just... Are they mates?
I think so.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
I felt something I shouldn't feel when I saw these two interact.
Me too.
Called him brother. He said, good luck, brother. And Dijak says, you're lying to Brooks and you know it. We'll see. Excited for that match next week.
Well,
apologies for previewing it yesterday. They genuinely didn't specify when it was happening. I assumed a title match might happen on a premium live event, but I was mistaken.
Replay the preview because he's going to kill him.
Yeah. Kelly's with Ilya for an interview that I'm sure he found.
What?
Ilya probably found.
Very entertaining.
Ilya found the interview very Robert Stone.
Dead.
He's asked about last week and tonight's main event. He says, look, he likes Tony, but his hopes might end tonight. He appreciates Melo's athletic ability. He's gonna have to earn his shot though. And who should come in? Our boys, Stax, and the newest member of the family, Luca Gustafino. Stax says,
Santino Marella. Yes, it's Santino voice. You've recycled it.
Stax says, so he says, Melo's going to have to earn his shot, and Stax immediately says,
and he's going to miss. Mad Dragon, Stax Lorenzo.
I was like, there it is. That's like one of those. Put that on a list. A future WrestleMania main event. You're looking at it right now.
It's your Mega Powers handshake.
Oh,
isn't it?
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
Stax Lorenzo, the underboss of NXT. Nice to meet you. I'm here to let you know the Don is making moves. And one way, Tony D is going to be seeing you at Stand and Deliver. Oh, yo. Till we meet again, champ.
And they leave, and Ilya says he can't wait for the match. God, the build to this, I was like, when are we going to get to the fireworks factory?
It's probably 1 hour and 48 minutes into the show.
Perfect time. Women's tag titles on the line next. There's Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus...
This is poor.
Kairi Sane's forgotten how to wrestle.
That's weird,
This has
isn't
been
it?
such a poor run.
I feel sorry for her.
Slapped her bum and then like went...
What was that?
I don't know.
Pervs on X enjoyed it, but that was about it.
Yeah. They're facing Lyra
Therefore,
Valkyria.
the most popular match of all time, considering how many of them are on the platform.
Asuka got a cheap shot from the apron earlier on. Asuka's bulldog into Kairi Sane's kick to the chest, gets a 2. We go to break. And in amongst all this, we see Thea Hale brawling with Kiana James and Izzy Dame backstage. More on that in a bit. We come back, everything's breaking down. Lyra Valkyria DDTs Asuka. They get a fisherman's buster on Kairi Sane that gets a 2 count. Again, everything breaks down. There's an enziguri on Asuka. Paxley comes in for that backbreaker, top rope, leg drop combination, but Kairi Sane just dives in to make the save. At one point, Lyra Valkyria does have to calm down Tatum Paxley for being too aggressive. But the finish sees Valkyria inadvertently roundhouse kick Tatum Paxley. Valkyria gets hit with a back fist from Kairi Sane, bumps out of the ring. Paxley gets hit with that insane elbow combo finisher thing of theirs. Kairi Sane covers Paxley 1, 2, 3. The champs retain here as well.
It's not very good. Just
Like, really bad at points.
the thing with when you've got like main roster wrestlers coming on, regardless of skills, really, they're supposed to look like veterans, like sort of super experienced, especially champions, really experienced, having every kind of advantage over their NXT counterparts. Even though Lyra Valkyria is the NXT Women's Champion, her partner isn't. So should be a distinct advantage at play, and you're supposed to see the NXT wrestlers almost as underdogs. Not here, not in the slightest. They all just looked on the same level, and it wasn't a high one. I just really sloppy. I keep thinking this in his Kairi Sane match. What's going on? Is there a weird WWE style adjustment that she nailed the first time and has seemingly failed the second time?
I mean, I'm not being funny. I don't think the WWE style's changed much.
Nah, I can't get why
years.
Why she hasn't just dropped back in. This was a poor match. It was belts. The Kabuki Warriors are not. I like them, but they're not doing what everybody just assumed that they would do when they win the belts, which is, right, now they're instantly credible again. Now you can book the Jade Cargill WrestleMania match, and you've got some workers in there that are going to make sure that this delivers in every respect. safe is Jade and a Bianca or an Naomi, which are kind of the only people on SmackDown you could see her having as partners. It'll feel big time, but on consistent evidence, it might not be very good.
It's just so odd at various moments. There's a moment where they are, I believe, trying to Irish whip Kairi Sane into the ropes, and she just stands there, and she eventually gets into position to take like a double hip toss, and then Valkyria in Paxley just kind of stood there. Okay, I just don't know the names. I don't know the names. It was kind of stood there, and I think, are you going to like double drop kick her in the back? Why are you just standing still?
Yes.
What was the sequence? It completely fell apart where Asuka was kind of like about to suplex Valkyria. They were just waiting for the others to get into position.
Yeah,
It stood there for like about 60 seconds. It was excruciating.
Yeah, it's like wrestling rings. When you go to a wrestling show live, you're struck by how small 20 is because it looks so big on television. It's supposed to look that big. But as a result of that, it's a pet hate of mine, actually. You see it on like NXT more than any other show. Sometimes a wrestler will stand there and the ring looks like 100 by 100. It's like, how have you got so much space where you're doing nothing in it?
I know.
I didn't even know that space to ring. A wrestler's fool me into thinking that space doesn't even exist. It takes 3 strides to get from here to here to here. Here's the corner in a tag match, so you're cutting the ring off. There is no free space. And then sometimes they'll just make it look like this sandbox.
Yeah.
Like, you've got ages, you're just walking around in it. Like when wrestlers let the kids in on those 24 specials and you see them having a bit of a play around, the ring, it's like, have you not like done footwork class? And you're supposed to like stride like this to make this space look, it's just bad.
There was some really awkward moments of freeze here. What do you think of it, Wilborn?
Loved it. Post-match, Roxanne Perez slides in to attack the champion.
This was good.
It's a single-arm DDT, throws a shoulder first into the post and in the corners and what have you. And then she bends her shoulder back. She bends her arm over the bottom turnbuckle and stamps on it. And Roxy's mouthing off as Lyra's tended to her by officials, and she gets loaded into an ambulance and taken as Shawn Michaels and Ava. She hasn't got a surname. She's the Rock's daughter and the general manager of NXT. Watch on.
I hated the half-in, half-out turn with Roxanne Perez. It felt like it was taking ages to get to the point you knew you were going to get to. Hated even more her being forced to do the backstage acting where she just gets on everybody's nerves. It's always been with Roxanne Perez that she's a substantially better wrestler than most of the people on this roster. So what a shock when like the physical act of actually turning is the best she's looked as a heel by miles. Instant title match that might be quite good.
A nice synergy of the whole world,
We've seen it, haven't
presumably
we?
world title.
Have we just seen it?
What?
Roxanne
Roxanne
Perez and Lyra
and
Valkyria.
She can't get the shot. Can she? Is that no? We've not had that
It was
match.
the one where they had Lola Vice cash.
Well, sure it was them two,
All
innit?
the
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry, they were having
Yeah, it
the
was
match.
like just the penultimate PLE.
Yeah, they were having the match, and then it turned into a 3-way, didn't
Yeah.
it? So.
Yeah, and it wasn't very good to begin with.
I like it. I like it as the direction better than Tatum Paxley. No offense to Tatum.
Well, that turn's obviously going to be a major surprise.
Yeah.
Penny drops.
Both world titles potentially changing hands. Stand and deliver. Fallon Henley versus Blair Davenport next. Blair.
That's a lie.
Davenport actually cleverly, having seen what's just happened to the world champion, thought, I'll work the arm on that match, which I thought was a nice touch of her acknowledging, she watches the show. She's going to put that into action because it's just taken out the world champion, so it must work pretty damn well. So she targets Fallon Henley's arm, going to crash into the ring steps. And then here comes Sol Ruka. That's why there was that message, that cryptic message.
Forgot to preview the obvious return of Sol Ruka.
We get to talk to the last week about that cryptic message on the beach that said, "See you soon." And I was like, what does that mean? And it was Sol Ruka, and she's back, and she's got Jake Atlas's old finish, the cartwheel DDT. Didn't quite hit all of it, I'll be honest. But she takes Davenport out with it, rolls her in. Henley hits the Shining Wizard 1, 2, 3.
Right. I've got nothing to say on the match because it was just some moves happened in order to get to the backdrop for the angle. But this poor lass, right, along with about 80 of her peers and colleagues, has been downed by an ACL injury. It's really quite serious. Genuinely, we have a lot of fun on this podcast and all the rest of it.
But half the roster are in Steve Austin knee braces forever because of the way they train.
Yes.
Yeah.
Half of the roster have had their knees blown out because of the way they're trained relentlessly and all the rest of it. So what a capital idea it is, therefore, to have Sol Ruka make a great return in the knee brace so you can see right? She needs support because her knee got blown out. To do like a cartwheel DDT that you can't even do. Why don't you, morons, teach these poor kids the fundamentals, right?
How good would they have
No,
to be?
I stopped myself from doing the Kenny voice because this is a quite serious point.
Okay, sorry.
When you're teaching them to run before they can walk, guess what? They blow their knees out. So why don't you just get them to learn how to grab a hold and wrestle? The match quality doesn't make a difference either way. If anything, I'd rather watch something like really young line stuff where they don't get the chance to do much, but they have to like boom, but practice. All the stuff, limited and one-dimensional though it is, looks like really kite.
Yeah.
Do that. Then you might not, like, oh, can you, is your gimmick is you do gymnastics with every bounding step. Oh, her knee's in trouble. Who's that one?
What?
Who's the one who...
Reese's Pieces.
Oh, yeah,
Brinley
Brinley
Reese.
Reese.
Thanks for maintaining the tone there. I mean, I just saw that. It's like... I mean, I know her gimmick is super athlete, and why would you give someone like that a really boring moveset or whatever, but I just saw it. I was like, no.
And it missed by a mile and people forgot who she was. That made it all worse. No reaction.
Correct.
Absolutely no reaction. It looked terrible. And she's got that soul snatcher, which kicks ass. Like, that's something she absolutely can do. So just come back and attack and remind people who you are that way, because seeing this weird move gone wrong. Which one's that again? Like, that was a reaction going around, because, yeah, the 1 week tease obviously must have gone over their heads. It was maybe a bit too niche.
Too cryptic.
Too cryptic.
Cryptic for their own good.
You made me think there, like, Shawn Michaels' version of, wrestlers when they're on the road, they're going to miss their kids' first steps or whatever. It's like, oh no, I was on the road so much, I missed my kid's first ACL tear.
Yeah.
Every parent's dream.
So JC Jane and Jasmine are there with Chase Hughes. She's sort of dressing them down, telling Chase it slipped through his fingers. It was right there, it slipped through your fingers. Chase like, I know, I was there. Chase was like, I was there too. Duke, you came up short, she said, but a bit of commotion. In comes Thea Hale, and she's like, I'm not sure if you saw what happened, all the Izzy Dame, Kiana James stuff, but we've got ourselves a tag match next week. And Jason's like, oh, what do you mean we? Who's your tag partner? She's like, well, you. She's like, oh, sorry, busy. Heads off with Jasmine. What is going on there?
How's she busy? That's a 1 day at work. What's she doing? I'm asking the question. Like, is she going to be at them all? Are we going to go back
like
there again?
do you want to come to my baby shower? Busy. I haven't given you the date yet. That's the intrigue. That's what gets people tuning in every week.
So JC Jane's
and also that's a game for next week. What's JC Jane doing instead of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
You'll be into it by
I'll be in the preview, I know.
Fallon Henley's going to be a partner, which keeps, because JC Jane's not going to do it, which keeps her folded in. This is it, man. This is why she's still in it. Fighting for this.
And who else is wrestling on that show?
Brooks Jensen.
Passing each other. You could basically have the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes passing thing like they had on SmackDown.
I was thinking they both lose, get hurt, and then they're both in the same hospital beds next to each other.
Like Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston the other day. Ava, she hasn't got the same name, she's The Rock's daughter, and she's the NXT general manager, is there with Gigi Dolin and says, Ariana Grace is literally refusing to fight me. She says she literally won't fight me. She'll run away if we get in the ring.
Why did she go to wrestling school?
Well, maybe this was just all, she's putting all the...
We're about to get a pretty good story.
Yeah.
That's why.
So Grace comes in and she's like, have you reconsidered having a match with me? And she's like, I don't really see the point. Just reeling her in. She's like, we literally are only here to wrestle. And she's like, okay, we can have the match, but on one stipulation. If I win, Gigi Dolin, I get to turn you into a real lady. And she's like, as long as I get the match, fine. She fell right into a trap.
You can do beauty pageant skits with Gigi.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's where this is going.
Yes.
Yeah. Ariana Grace is finally going to get a win, and then you're going to get like 3 weeks of skits. Fish out of water stuff with Gigi Dolin.
Who were they doing this with before?
It
It was Roxanne Perez because she was doing the anger management thing. So they've laid the story out, the breadcrumbs that's led to this really nicely over the past month or so. Sean Spears gets caught up in the parking lot. and gets asked by Kelly about Ridge wanting a match with him. And he says, I'm counting on it. Rage is Ridge's best friend, and next week I'll teach you to enjoy it. They bring him back, what's his name? Alex Riley.
Alex Riley.
Yeah.
Well,
Best friend, he said.
I don't think so.
Okay. But yeah, what do you think of the mind games that Sean's playing here?
Oh, come on, mate. I've already done I've already done my run. I don't want to really do that again.
Okay, let's move on to something you like. The No Quarter Catch crew come down to the ring.
Such an asshole.
To celebrate.
He's in his,
Ginger prick.
he's wearing his Regal family colours, especially for it. They were both in it in this. You see that?
God, he's squarehead.
They were both in it. They were both in the
Such an asshole.
in the Burgundy Wednesdays.
They're celebrating Charlie Dempsey having won the Heritage Cup, Drew Gulak and Dame Kemp and Miles Bourne, and they reveal that although Charlie Dempsey won the cup, the catch clause stipulates that any member of the No Quarter Catch crew can defend the cup.
Look at us.
God.
They're also going to be in the upcoming tag team elimination tournament, which I didn't know was a thing, but I assume that's how they're going to get to Good Brothers versus Wolf Dogs at Stand and Deliver. Yeah. Suddenly, though, here comes William Regal. Of course, this is why he went back to WWE, to do stuff with his son. There's a "That's Your Father" chant.
I need to talk about this a little bit. That's your father. That's your father. That's your father. What the f*** are you chanting that for? I'm serious. What goes through your head? I mean, say what you see. Do you not think he knows? Like, what goes through their heads?
I know you think your surname is Dempsey, but let me tell you, it's actually Regal, and it's not even that. It's Matthews.
It's Matthews.
I've read the internet.
Seriously, what on earth? That's your father. What the hell are you doing? Seriously, what the hell was that, Chad? Would you ever, in 1 million years, if no one else was around you doing it, right? Who started this chant?
Yeah. Listen to this one.
Check this one out. If you're at the show, there's Charlie Dempsey. Dempsey's not his real surname. It's Matthews. He's William Regal's father, right?
He's William Regal's son, Sitch. What you need is a chant to help you remember.
He's your father. Hey, look, it's your dad. Hey, look over there, it's your dad, kid. He's your father. He's your father.
Yeah, this isn't like when they had like Tensai and people were like, that's just Albert, so we're going to chant Albert. They're not exposing some like intricate story that's been hidden. Yeah, preposterous. But Regal says
it's baffling to me.
Just want to know they're a little bit smart. They want to know you're a little bit smarter than their average wrestling fan. That's why they chant that. They're letting you know. They're on the up and up.
Regal says,
one fan's like, no sh**. This is dead.
He's dead. I can see the resemblance.
But he's speaking like us. And he's speaking like a Mr. Bean looking ass. And they're related?
Regal says the Heritage Cup Championship means the world to me. Represents outstanding competitors from Britain and the UK scene for generations. Every time it's defended, it's a tribute to those who came before me. I hope you defend it with honour and the integrity that it deserves. Charlie Dempsey says, I'll defend the cup better than you ever could.
I guess they are related. They both suck.
And Regal says, Fee-Fi-Fo Fum, I'll be watching.
What's Fee-Fi-Fo Fum? I feel stupid.
I smell the blood of an English man.
He's his son from England. So.
That's the worst part I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's
and I've been listening to him all day.
It's Regal, isn't it? It's Mr. Pisscuff. What do you expect?
Fee-Fi-Fo. Oh, God. This is Regal. You are English. You are English. You are English. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
someone else on X at WhatCulture WWE at M Sidgwick. Tell me he wasn't just you are English.
You know, when NXT was one of the rare occasions where WWE recently used some licensed music. I think you know the tune quite well, Sitch, for Josh Briggs, wasn't it?
Brooks Jensen,
excuse me. Yeah.
And if you must go, I'll give you less.
Regal gone like, yeah, you lads remind me of another group I used to hang around with. Anyway, see you later. Play my music. Wow, Regal leaves. I think you might make a hell of a group.
Blackpool Combat Club Gallus.
Yeah. So BC worker at Gallus, and he's a BCC Gallus.
Yeah.
It just becomes...
Yeah.
We go backstage, and Amdar
That's just absolutely horrible as well.
doing his weekend at Bernie's shtick, basically, again. Lash and Aura are like, can't do this again. She sits down with Noam.
What? Oh, I remember now. Mm-hmm. What was he doing this for in the first place? When it first went away?
Last time he lost the Heritage
Yeah.
Cup. But she lifts up his little bucket hat, and suddenly he's back. Says, the past is the past. It's time for better and brighter things.
Love that. This trophy that you've been putting over, you've got this comedy goof going. I don't give a shit about it. Regal's talking bollocks. That's basically what they were saying.
But is he in denial, or have the last however many months of my life just been even more of a waste of time?
He's following the Tony D pattern here. I've lost the title. I've lost something that yesterday meant loads to me. I just say I want the bigger prize instead, and then it happens.
Yeah.
It's following that path.
Mm-hmm. Now we have to do our regular update.
Hey, Dijak, take those stupid sunglasses off. We're inside.
Wagner Watch.
Come Tuesday.
No sign of Von Wagner early on. It's just his manager, whose name is...
Robert Stone.
He's watching that promo I told you about, the digital exclusive, mocking him, saying he was going to embarrass him and be a real role model to his sons, etc. And Von comes in and he speaks to... sorry, it's completely gone again.
Robert Stone.
Who says...
It's very serious. He was in a very serious mood.
Says he's not done with Lexis King. Sorry, this is Von who says this, actually. He's not done with Lexis King. He's still going to smash him. And the manager...
Robert Stone.
Gets it, but he says this is between him, pronouns pal being...
Robert Stone.
And Lexis
That's
King.
the new thing, mate. They do it all the time.
And he says Von needs to step aside so that he being
Robert Stone,
can fight Lexis King. He's a man. I'm talking, of course, of
Robert Stone.
A husband, that's
Robert Stone.
and a father, that's
It's like Robert Stone.
yeah, to the Bash brothers, of course. He has to do it alone. Von tries to talk some sense into
Robert Stone.
but he's asked a favour to let him do it alone, and Von agrees. Here we go.
Did you notice at Revolution how Jim Ross, because we don't get him much anymore.
Pronoun boy.
Pronoun boy. Like
He being Sting, pronoun boy.
just couldn't resist bollocking himself in the moment. It's like, Jim, you come back every now and then and you're kind of class, actually.
Yeah.
Like, perfect special attraction commentator. Just leave that demon in the past.
They should, and I've been one of Jim Ross's most severe critics for his performance level, his lack of interest or research, and his, well, let's face it, his misogyny.
Yeah.
He's pretty damn good when he has to do it once a night.
Yeah.
Was I? That old bastard doesn't know how to give up. Darby Allin.
He's so locked in when he drops in for these matches, and then just that little pronoun boy. I was like, oh God, remember that 3 times a week on Dynamite? I was a bit bleak, wasn't it?
Yeah. Literally watching a man have PTSD
Yeah.
on screen.
Main event time.
Oh, you know what? I'm just going to say that this match was absolutely abysmal. that
Sure was.
there
It
was a moment where Carmelo Hayes does some kind of move, like kind of a like Falcon Arrow with Jason or some kind of cutter or whatever.
Yeah.
No pop, and it's actually one of the most clean moves of the night. But that's all I'm going to say because I know you're going to have a lot of fun with it. I won't do it's not a bit. I will not earnestly hate this as much in front of you, but I did need to get out of the way. Good news.
Go on.
The roll through thing is pretty cool.
Yes. Thought you might like that.
I won't hate it in front of you, man. This is your moment.
You want to go through it and then we'll give you thoughts?
Yeah, I got to be honest, mostly agree with Sidgwick. Right
Should we just give them the floor?
Yeah, right down to it being really nice for you, and that's what I was happy about, and Stan delivers main event, but either work, I feel like I'm an OG. I'm kind of one of the first guys to say Tony D's never learned to wrestle once. Like, there was the Pete Dunne match that I think even Sidge was like, come on.
The weapons one was good.
Yeah, that's it. I've known
Dijak match, pretty deadly match.
Every match.
I enjoy.
Every match is
Retiring
ever
Tommaso
worked.
Ciampa, getting that schmuck out of NXT.
enjoy
there for that.
I enjoy the experience 100% of the time. Let's just say that.
Anyway, the floor is yours.
Well, this was sensational. Carmelo Hayes wasted no time kicking Tony in the head, but he rolled forward into a backdrop. He got a gut-wrench suplex. That sent Carmelo Hayes flying. Single underhook suplex, did it again. Hayes got knocked off the apron, but I suppose, after what we were talking about earlier, Adam Rose-esque got caught by his security, and that took us to a break. When they come back, Tony's in trouble, fights back out. His arm's being targeted because, like the others, Melo's been watching and seen what happened to the world champion. I was like, well, makes
Weak
sense.
spot.
Yeah. D'Angelo grabbed a belly-to-belly into a spine buster.
Oh my God.
Hayes comes back with his suplex into a cutter for 2, and he goes for the Fujiwara armbar. In the end, Hayes gets out onto the apron. Tony grabs him, but Melo snaps his injured arm against the ropes. He's been sending him into the post and turnbuckle and stuff like that. So snaps his arm against the ropes, comes in, hits that first 48, but does a bit of a cocky cover, and Tony can get his shoulder up, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Melo gets on top, mounted punches. He goes up top. He is setting up for his finish, the nothing but net. And as he goes up there, whose music hits but Trick Williams? And the security of Melo immediately turns the entranceway to cut him off, to stop him from interfering. Melo can't believe what he's hearing. This isn't, the fake out that he did initially. But where's Trick Williams? There is no Trick Williams. And Melo turns back round, but this distraction, planned out by the Don, ladies and gentlemen, big twist, has given him time to recover. Pop-up spine buster by Tony D'Angelo.
Oh my God.
Forget about it. Tony D punches his ticket. He is going to stand and deliver. Oi, oi, oi. And he yells down the camera lens, there's only one Don. I love this. Loved it. And then, after the match, he gets on the microphone and he says, oh, I apologize for that little stunt I pulled. But I am a giving Don, so Carmelo, I got you a present. And Trick's music hits again. Again, the security faced the entranceway. But
Where is he going to come from?
Trick Williams slides in from the crowd, opposite side of the ring. He lays out Carmelo Hayes. He drops all the security team, sends them all flying. And in the end, Melo has to bail out of there. Trick Williams stands tall. The crowd's going wild. They've had 2 of the best things that could ever happen right in front of them then and there. And that is the end of the show.
Just those things you want to be there in person for.
Oh, my God.
Reminding William Regal who his son is and seeing Tony D become the number 1 contender at the title.
Yes.
Those fans will have that forever. The Trick comeback was great. He's over. He feels like a star in that setting, and it typically extends to the big shows, so we're good to go with Trick. He cannot do out. Like, the punches missed by miles, the security guards look terrible taking the ball. You watch it, I don't care. No. It looked rubbish, and I did not care.
Stone Cold stomps in the corner.
Yeah, kind of. Like, just really,
a bit.
really
Tried.
Yeah, he did it. Like, really hot.
Hot's better than good sometimes.
Yeah, hot is better than good, which bodes well for their match, because I don't think that'll be good either. But it's a hot program, and they've earned that reaction that Trick got.
Gimmick up the match out the ass.
I think so.
Sorry,
Yes.
what time? I've just realised
On this
what time
review,
it is.
your favourite review.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I've just remembered I got a dentist appointment at 4, so I've got to shoot over there.
Not at 2:30.
No, don't be ridiculous.
You can't do one-liners and jokes like that.
I'm going to nip up. You obviously take care of finishing up with your thoughts. Sorry to interrupt. Let's get your thoughts on...
Why didn't you get your appointment during the Dynamite review?
Huh? Well, professional.
This isn't professional.
I got to shoot anyway, regardless.
Why?
I've got a dentist appointment, and it's
You should have told us this before, huh?
Yeah, I really should. I've
What's the? Is it
Just
what tooth?
just a root canal probably. So I might be a while, but who knows?
So you're not. So you.
Imagine if on like tomorrow's podcast, especially, you're going to be selling.
Yeah, we'll stop asking questions. Sidge, your thoughts on this, and then just wrap the whole thing up. Be great.
Well, that's the thing. I'll give you my thoughts before you did
I've
the
got it. Yeah, I
recap.
know.
I don't want to harsh your pose.
Time is money, so I gotta
for
shoot.
the dentist.
We don't make the money. If anything, you are spending money, because I believe it costs what, £25 a treatment now.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
25 quid a treatment. Aye,
We've just lost our NHS dentist where I live. Not ideal at all.
that's not ideal.
It's a difficult time for the. I suppose dentists getting paid regardless. He probably could
I
have
guess.
What the f*** is going on? Hey, how's it going, Tony? He's going to stand and do it like, hey, yo. How's it going, you guys? I gassed myself out quick in the episode, I gotta be honest.
But you're an athlete for a living, so how?
I got
So how does it
a
take?
little too hard last night.
Right. Okay.
He's gone to the dentist.
Oh,
Yeah.
on National Dentist Day, what are the chances?
Amazing. He
And
got
a
an
man who
appointment.
keeps, you know what? Whilst we're on the topic, Sitch, what's the deal with dentists, huh?
Well, dentist is a doctor for your teeth. If you just need a proper brush where you can actually feel what your teeth are meant to feel like, go to the dentist for a scale and polish. If you've got any kind of pain in there, go to the dentist. If you've got any damage to your teeth, you get a filling from your dentist that can perform an extraction. If the tooth is kind of unrecoverable, presumably they can replace teeth. You can't really replace teeth unless you're a child with some kind of implant. But if you've got any kind of issue with your teeth, go to the dentist.
You know, I actually once dated a dentist.
So you never asked her what you did for a living.
I didn't want to pry too much. I actually, dated a dentist a while back, and let me tell you, she had the whitest teeth I ever came across. So, three questions, 3 jokes for you, Sidge.
Yes, Stacks. Ready when you are, mate.
Sidge, what is a dentist's favorite movie, huh?
Right, stop laughing while we can get this.
It's Jaws, probably.
Jaws or the Tooth Fairy?
Teeth, that film. That's with the teeth.
The Tooth Fairy.
Hot in here.
Well, why do you wear a coat? Tooth Fairy.
Tooth Fairy.
Actually, wasn't there an explanation as to why you wear a coat, Starks? The other week?
Can't remember.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very jelly.
Dressing for where you're landing rather than where you're leaving, yeah.
I know, that's
It's all
good.
the benefit.
Yes. Could be the Tooth Fairy, could be Jaws, could be teeth. Feels a bit root one, that. How much of a pun?
What's Dan's favourite movie? 2:30 to Yuma or whatever.
Oh! I think it's called the 210 to humor.
310 to humor, actually.
one,
I've never seen it. Watching The Godfather most of the time, but
Should do a coin flip between Tooth Fairy and Jaws.
Yeah.
I love seeing the coin flip on camera.
I don't because I'm not very good at it. Didn't I do it great on
You were goddamn good.
Let's go heads for Jaws, because head's got Jaws.
Actually, you wouldn't see that.
I heard about it. Willie was telling me, actually. I just remembered as he said that.
Were you watching it on YouTube?
No, it wasn't on YouTube. He
Oh,
did tell me,
right.
he texted me. He talks sometimes.
Right, yeah.
Even though you hate.
I warmed him since he's become a
Right, okay.
father.
Okay, shut up, sir.
Let's not get into the law too much.
Oh!
Oh, nice.
Heads for Jaws. Jaws.
Good night, right? What was the other one?
Tooth Fairy.
Good night, right?
Right.
What is the dentist's favorite movie? Plank to the Future. Huh?
You should have done a pun.
Yeah, should have gone for pun.
That's your fault. That's your fault.
My fault. I'll
And
take
what
that.
question joke number 2? Maybe you get it on this one. What's a dentist's favorite dinosaur? Picture that.
Plachiosaurus. And it's a rule of 3, and there's another plaque punchline coming. No?
Pretty lazy, that.
Yeah, no. So there's brush.
Teeth Rex.
I'll have that in the back pocket because it's terrible. What's kind of dinosaurs? We've got T-Rex, we've got Raptor.
Yeah, Triceratops. Stegosaurus.
Argentinosaurus, which is the largest.
Oh. The Laphosaurus, which is the one that kills that guy in Jurassic Park that does the IT guy.
Pterodactyl.
Velociraptor.
T-Rex.
Good night, right? What are the
God,
dentist's
that was Portage.
favorite dinosaur? You were close.
a flosseraptor. Huh? Not a floss, guys. Final joke, final question for you, Siggy. What's the best thing about being a dentist?
It's that kind of blow thing they do.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I don't know. Because it feels like it's going to factor in.
Yeah.
A little bit disgusting there. A little bit lewd. Huh? This is for the kids, guys.
Could have told us that before your intro joke.
What's the best thing?
Some big
What's the
questions.
best thing about being a dentist?
The wage.
So, like,
Great final joke to finish. I got to be honest.
Rooting? People say that.
Yeah.
Rooting? I don't think it's that.
No. I don't know. I have no idea.
Anything in scale and polish because you get your knob polished, and that's usually what people say. That, not usually, but some people say that. Some people say that for blowjobs.
That then, polishing your knob, yeah.
Scale and polishing your knob.
Good. It's not right, though. What is the best thing about being a dentist? You get to put your tool in people's mouths and fill in their cavities. See you later, guys.
Bye, Stacks.
Oh, you're joking. I just missed it.
Yeah.
How long does
You're right. It was at 2:30.
Is our dentist downstairs?
Should have bloody thought of that, really.
was
I
actually-
missed my point. It was 2:30. Why did I forget something like that?
All of his crap is
Is the dentist downstairs?
Oh, what? No, it's just over the road. But, in that time.
Yeah, it isn't, though, because I work here.
Breeze.
Oh, well,
There's a good bruise. There's a...
It's a travelling dentist. You probably haven't heard of it. It's a bit
Well,
dodgy.
there's no such thing.
Anyway.
Those chairs got a lot of like the pneumatic deal. How's that going to work in a
It's
van?
like, good. That's how you can get nowadays. Thanks to Tories. Anyway, what are we talking about? Finished?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, follow me, Adam Sidgwick.
Let us know your thoughts on everything we've discussed either in the comment section or on X at What Culture
every week
WWE.
for the awards folder. Every week.
Yeah. This has been up there for me.
Yeah.
You can follow all three of us on X. You can follow Michael Hamflet at.
Michael Hamflet.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at.
They pull me back in at M. Sidgwick.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at What Culture WWE. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. But for now, this has been the NXT Beep Beep Get Out of the Bloody Road Roadblock review. Thanks to
What's in the
Hamlet.
road? Is it a mobile dentist?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Thanks to Hamlet, to Cedric, to Stacks. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.